So to do that, what we're gonna first wanna do is take the barley and crush it, because as it sits like that, the whole kernels would take a long time to steep. They're not very accessible. So you wanna crush them up, and I've crushed this ahead of time to save some time. And there's a couple things you can use to do it with. We use in the store, we have a mill, which sits back in the corner. You can't see it from this angle, but we can go look at it in a few minutes. The mill crushes it. It has two rollers that are like two big rolling pins that crush it together, and then it doesn't pulverize it into a dust, but it cracks it. So that's the best way. At home, you can just use a single rolling pin. The easiest way I like to do it is to take like a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, pour in as much grain as you can make one layer. Yep, so it'll be flat, zip it up, and then roll over it with a rolling pin. You can also get by with a champagne bottle, something heavy. Nothing that's just going to destroy it. You don't want to put it in a coffee grinder or food processor. Yeah, you just want to crack it. If you crush it too finely, then the husk material gets powdery and creates a flour. And the husk material has a lot of bitter tannins in it. And if you release too many of those, the beer takes on an astringent quality, which is not good. So the very first step we do is heat the water, which I've taken the liberty of doing already to save us a little time. And then you add to it the crushed grains. It's about a gallon of water. No. I've heated it to 150 degrees Fahrenheit to make it hot. Another bad thing from the husk material, those tannins are more soluble. They'll dissolve better in very hot water, above 170 degrees. So the more finely powdered they are, the higher the temperature, the higher the pH for what that's worth, the more those will dissolve out into the beer. So that's why we don't pulverize it too finely when we crush it, and then the steeping water is 150 degrees, so it's well below that 170 threshold to do it. So I don't know if you want to, it's not very exciting to see, but if you want to form a quick line to come through and see it in the pot, it's just, looks like a very thin oatmeal of sorts. So this process is just steeping. We're going to steep it to extract as much of the flavor, but we're not going to need to mash it. And there can often be some confusion as to what happens during this stage. I talk to people often who are doing this process and they think they're mashing. And you're not, even though the temperature is in the right range, you're not going to mash it. You're not trying to get any sugars out of this. All your fermentables will come from the extract. If we're doing all grain, then yeah, we would be using less water, a lot more grain, and then we would be looking to take advantage of naturally occurring enzymes in the malt to convert the sugars or starches into sugars. So that's going to need to steep for about 20 minutes. Set our handy timer. And then there's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of waiting in beer making. So the first stage of waiting is this. So we got 20 minutes where not much is really going to happen.